I heard the girlies were going back to school and needing a drugstore routine that will get you to school on time and have you looking awake and ready to learn. I decided to flip this situation on its head by doing drugstore. And what I'm going to do is, instead of shopping from what I already have, I decided to go to different stores around me and see what I can get in stores for dark-skinned girlies to be able to achieve a gorgeous look for school. Okay, the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to pull a product from out of my stash, tell you that you can get this I tell you you can get this at the drugstore, and then you show up in stores and the product is not there. I know that different stores have different inventories, and I decided to start with the store that was closest to me, and that is a Walgreens. Let's jump into it. Okay, so I'm just dipping into the if you are new to my channel, my name is Ohemaa. Welcome if you are a returning subscriber. Hey! These are the products that I picked up, and we're going to do a routine from Walgreens. My skin looks really tight right now, so I'm about to put some Good Molecules lightweight daily moisturizer on to help me balance out my skin. The only thing is I have to re-up my moisturizer because this is a very hydrating moisturizer and the price is drugstore friendly. Okay, I'm applying my moisturizer to make sure that my skin is hydrated enough. I like this moisturizer because although it is lightweight, it is very, very hydrating, and my skin does not feel tight or look weirdly shiny like it did in the beginning. I'm also using the Block Party on my edges, and this thing is stuck and so shiny. Oh, look how much better my skin looks. I need a little more because my skin was feeling parched earlier, you know? Okay, we're taking our concealer, and this was the darkest one that they offered in the store. The only other brand that had a different shade of concealer that was dark enough for me to use was Rimmel, but that one had a slightly gray tone to it, and they did tell me that that one had a grayer tone. So I picked this one up because it has like shimmer pieces in there. I'm going to use it to kind of balance out the dark marks I have on my skin and also over my acne. If you're not my skin tone and you do have acne and you want to cover it before school, you can put some concealer over it, and once you blend it in, it's going to help cover up that that acne that you have. So I just want to have the skin look as flawless as possible. I'll also put a little bit of this on my under eye and a little bit around my lips and allow this to dry down. I got this e.l.f. Complexion Trio sponge, and it comes obviously 3 sponges. I want to take the very little one because we're not doing a full face of makeup. Taking the medium sized one. It is really, really cute. This is what it looks like once you put some water over it, and to wet your sponge, you just run it over some water, squeeze it a few times for the water to get into all the fibers, and then squeeze out all the water, like really squeeze out all the water so that you get a damp sponge that's not wet when you squeeze it. Okay, I think this has had enough time to dry down, so I'm going to blend it in with my finger first before we blend over with the sponge because we don't want all the products to go away. Okay, now we're taking this tiny sponge and we're just going to blend over the products that we put down. See, I'm just going to pat over the concealer around my lips just to even out the tone. You know, anywhere I feel like I want to have a more flawless look to the skin. Blending the one on my under eyes. I'm taking the sponge and we'll go over everything so that we make sure that I'm taking the sponge to go over everything so I can make sure that it's blended in really, really nicely, and my skin is looking really flawless. Okay, blending in with my finger is definitely keeping the product exactly where I need it to go. I don't expect this to cover everything on my skin, but at least to make the appearance of my dark marks less significant. Getting my brows and my lashes prepped with this Wet n Wild brow and lash gel. I'm using the brow gel to hold up my brows. Because this is a quick routine and I want my makeup to be very undetectable, I'm not using any colored brow products. Okay, I'm just brushing up my brow hairs with the gel. That way it can stay in place. I am also going to make sure that my brows are trimmed and looking as defined as possible. That would make it easy for me to get my base together quickly and go. I'm also going to apply some of this clear gel to my lashes to get it ready ready for the mascara. I picked up this palette from Wet n Wild called Nude Awakening. I figured that it has enough pigments in here for somebody as deep as me or deeper to be able to use this shade in the palette, and I'll only put it on the outer corners of my eyes to just give it some depth, just nothing major, because we don't want it to look like we actually have any makeup on, but we do want it to look very, very subtle. Taking my finger into this shade and just putting a little bit of it on the eyelids just for that shimmer effect. It is very subtle. It is very subtle, and that's why I like it. But also there are several different shades of shimmer in here, so you can use this one if you want it to be even more subtle, and these two are also pretty subtle, but it just allows you to have a palette you can use for when you're going to school or when you're going to like a little get together. I got the e.l.f. Brow Duo. I want to be able to use a liner side for a quick liner. This palette wouldn't open. I just dug my finger into it. So annoyed. I'm taking the black shadow onto my liner brush and just patting off the excess, and I will use that to draw a quick liner. Get out the way. Who got a watch? Who got the time? I'm very, very subtle liner. It's there, and just blend the subtle liner up so it's not like a very dark liner because I pat off the excess. So dip into, okay, so I'm just dipping into the powder, just tap into it, and then pat off any excess on my finger, on my hand. Then I'll just go ahead and do like a little wing situation. Just blend it up a little bit. This way there's no pressure for it to be super sharp and super, super perfect. This is the Wet n Wild Volumizing Mascara. I'm going to brush my lashes down and up. Of course, we're putting some mascara on the lower lashes. For blush, this was the deepest blush available at Walgreens. I don't know what it's gonna look like on my skin. I'm hoping that it looks really good. If not, I have a different shade in the palette that I can use as a quick blush. But I'm gonna put a dot right there because it says that it's very pigmented and I don't want to overuse it. I bought this dual complexion brush that I'm going to use as my blush brush. Ooh, this blush has a little bit of shimmer in there, so it's definitely giving me like a highlighter type of a look to the skin. I forget that I'm dark sometimes and I try to use a little bit of something and then it backfires on me. I'm just gonna add a little bit of it, but because of my face shape, I'm gonna put it a little bit higher so that it can lift my face. But I also want it to be very subtle because I don't want to have too much contrast to my skin. And the blush, oh, this is nice. It's so subtle, but the glow definitely matches my skin. I think I overdid it. I always like the blush on my nose, so I think I'll just put the excess over there and we're just gonna blend this in. Okay, I'll take my sponge that I use to blend in my concealer and run it over it because I want to dim it down a bit. We don't want to be distracting. We want to look enhanced for school, you know? I don't want to look at distracting. I want to look enhanced. So this is what we're doing. If you have sparse brows like I do, you can also go in with some of your mascara on your brow hairs very lightly and very gentle. That way it can coat your brow hairs and make them look more apparent. But it's also very important to use a razor to clean up your brows so they look nice and fresh. So I used my razor to clean up my brows and that made it look very nice and fresh. I got this bronzing brush from e.l.f. and I will use it with my palette to see if I can get a slight bronze or contour going. I'm going into this shade that we use for our eyeshadow, very gentle, and brushing it over the cream blush that we did. And it will just act as a means to add a little bit of warmth to the face. I'm just tapping into this top, shade very gentle, like a very small dot, and using that to add like very subtle shadows to just the bottom of this blush so that it can stand out a little bit more. I don't want it to look too much, but just very subtle. This is a very non-existent makeup look, but for school, we do want it to look nice and cute. Okay, taking some of the blush that we got, and I'm gonna put it in the middle of my lip. Just blend it in and take a paper towel and blot it off so that it looks like so. Almost like a lip stain. There was this Wet n Wild Twizzler lip gloss that I thought, oh my god, this is so cute. So we're going to add our Twizzler lip gloss to this routine. For setting spray, I got the e.l.f. Matte Magic because I do know that we're going to be in school. We don't want to be touching up our skin. We do want our skin to last. But because I have oily skin, I opted for the mattifying setting spray. And also because I didn't use any powders, setting spray will introduce some powders into the skin to blend everything in. But of course, we're gonna shake, 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 and spray it, and then spray the skin. And just like that, we have a gorgeous pinky back to school makeup look for my dark skin girlies. The one other thing that I picked up that I really think that you need if you're going to be doing this very gorgeous makeup routine is a cleansing oil. Hopefully you already have a good skincare routine going. The only thing I would add to that routine is a good cleansing oil. This is the e.l.f. Makeup Melting Balm. We're going to use this at the end of the day to cleanse this makeup so you can see exactly how to cleanse makeup off your skin. That way it doesn't clog your pores and cause problems in our growing skin. Okay, this is what it looks like. Absolutely stunning. I like it. I like the lip option. If you don't want it to be too pinky, you don't have to add the blush to the middle of it, but I really like the blush in the middle because it gives it a little bit of dimension. I will be returning all the other things I bought that I didn't use. I will put the link to these products down below so you can check it out, but if you have a local Walgreens that you want to check these out, you can check them out over there. Maybe try CVS, they might have a few more products. Maybe definitely Walmart will have more products, and hopefully they're on sale at Walmart, or check Target. I will list the products down below so you can check it out. Suggest this to any brand new makeup wearer in your family or somebody who wants to start wearing makeup to school. This is a quick routine that's not going to spend too much time but make you feel like you did something. You don't need the makeup, but if you do want it, this is how I would wear it to school and maybe to work, because this is definitely a work routine as well. Subscribe to my channel if you're not yet subscribed. Join my channel memberships, and also hype up this video if you loved this gorgeous look. Thank you so much for watching. Love you lots, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Get out the way, who got a watch, who got the time, I'm racing the clock. Even in my feelings, grind don't stop. Got big dreams, want bigger rocks. I got plans, you got talk. I just real